Hello, everybody. This is Sylvia and Peter. We usually have a great laugh when we do these recordings. So if we look as if we've just had a laughing fit, it is probably right. And one of the things we find between us a bit curious, if not hilarious, are the various days that have been designated to being something or other.
Mm,
And this recording is being made in January,
mhm,
and there's something called Blue Monday.
mm.
What on earth is that all about?
Well, it's interesting because Blue Monday started off years ago, and it's supposed to be the third Monday of January. And the history goes something on the lines of it being the most bleakest day of the year, the post-Christmas and New Year blues and all that type of thing. But it was actually a myth. It's dreamed up by a psychologist, I believe, in the early 2000s, based on an equation that he came up with. And you can always Google this. And then this myth that the third Monday in January is the bleakest day, but really it was tied in with the holiday industry. Because the holiday industry, the idea being, if we can create people feeling blue and miserable, let's get people booking their holidays, lift their spirits. And then the retail industry cottoned onto it to encourage some retail therapy to boost their sales after the Christmas and New Year. People haven't got any money, so sales going to dwindle off. So let's boost it. But it's all a fallacy and it's not true. So the Samaritans a few years ago changed and coined the phrase Brew Monday. The idea being that everyone has a brew, whether that's a cup of tea or something stronger, simply to have a chat and to have conversations and check in with each other. Because, you do have the post-Christmas, January and February quite tough months. But the idea being that people just have a chat and check in with each other. Are you okay? Are you not? And have those conversations. So it's actually a bit of a fallacy, but at the same time, I also say, is this something that we should be doing every day of the year, not just one day in January?
When I hear the term Blue Monday, it's to me that is the term, or it means that everybody should be feeling miserable on that Monday. And I don't particularly think I'm feeling miserable in January in general, or that the third Monday of that month must be the day when I feel crap. So it's quite interesting to hear that actually it's all just a marketing ploy and nothing else.
Mm.
But we do have those days, don't we? We do have those colors. I mean, you can feel blue, but that's different to when the air is blue.
Mm.
So
Yes.
we can use colors in different ways, but we can also use other items to describe how we feel. And was it in 1997 or something? The concept of a duvet
Oh,
day
yes.
came in.
Yes. Yes.
And, you know, I would hate spending a day under my duvet. It's something I do if I'm really, really ill. Like I know I had COVID back in August last year, and really that was a time to just stay in bed because for a couple of days, and that was it really,
Mm.
it was the place to be. But I can't just book a day and stay in bed. Well, maybe that's just me.
Picking up on the Blue Monday thing as well, there's that phrase, you get what you pay attention to. So if everyone is talking about January is really miserable, the third Monday in January is really, really miserable, you can almost create it. You can create that energy or lack of, and hey presto, people are miserable on the third day of the third Monday of January because marketing, everyone's talking about it, and you get what you pay attention to. In terms of the Duvet Day, from what I understand, Duvet Day is that people can just ring in and say, I'm not feeling it today, I'm not coming in. So they don't have to be sick, they just don't want to come in. Um, that's all very well. Uh, However, what then happens, it's at short notice. So it's, I could ring in, say this morning and say, I'm not coming in. But it's the ripple effect of that on other people. So on the one hand, yeah, I get it if you're not feeling it. potentially if your mental health is struggling a bit or whatever, or you just don't fancy it. But how many duvet days can we have a year? And the ripple effects, as I say, when people are in work, having to suddenly, because it's not pre-booked, they have got to step in and cover that person's job or their targets or the work that they're doing. So, and some may say it's a bit of a cop-out. Oh, I'm not feeling it today, I'm just not going to go in. But where's the digging a little bit deeper? Where's the let's try a bit harder? Let's not let people down. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, I think, because like I've duvet day. What's that all about? But that's me.
I just wonder if it's a response to employers knowing that employees play truant, just like kids do at school. So we might as well legalize it. Okay, instead of saying I'm the usual back pain or stomach upset, always blamed on a bad curry the night before. Just say you can't really be bothered today, and that's okay because we've got an allowance for that. But to me, that is just the thin end of the wedge where, okay, so that's allowed, then what else can we have that is allowed? And it just ties in with what I read in the papers yesterday, that 1 in 4 parents in the UK now believe it's okay for the children to skip school a day or two. It doesn't matter. So if the little one is feeling a little bit anxious, oh no, you don't have to go to school then. Or if slightly coughing or maybe a little bit of a runny nose, oh no, you don't have to go into school. Are we beginning to overprotect ourselves and thinking mild things are a lot worse, a lot bigger than they really are? I don't know.
Goodness, we're going to go down a big hole there, aren't we? And it's massive discussion there. But and this is my personal opinion, I believe in that case, we are not encouraging people to overcome, manage things, become it. Some may say encouraging people to be softer, less resilient. And I get, being a parent, you want to protect your child and all those things. But at the same time, what messages are you sending that when they're going to the wide world or going to the business area or going to work, that's not always the behaviour that's accepted or expected. It's a very, very fine line, that I come from an environment where, if you fell over and broke your arm, you're still expected to go to school. But things are very, very different these days, and I get that. At the same time, surely there is an element of building this, and I use the word resilience, I'm not particularly keen on the word, that sort of ability to overcome, the ability to manage life's ups and downs, to be able to focus and do things, and as I say, overcome in general.
And then I think if you look at, in order to be able to do it, you have to do it. So self-confidence you only get by doing the things you're not confident about until you see that actually you can do it. So whether we like the word resilience or not, or the ability to overcome, you have to do it and show that you can still function, and then you learn the resilience, and then you set your threshold for when you really are ill and when you're not. And of course it's going to be individual, but just giving up, not even trying, is probably the one thing that you and I dislike the most, is those who don't even give it a go. And yeah, well, you can always give it a go, can't you?
There's that phrase, it's something along the lines, isn't it? Isn't it better to have tried and not succeeded than not tried at all? I forget how the phrase goes. Probably got it completely misquoted, but you get the gist. The kid that's feeling a little bit anxious, well, try and go to school, because it might not be as fearful as you think. And it might be okay. And if it's not okay, well, we do something about it. But rather than not go to school at all, what message that's sending, what boundaries they're going to be, how they're going to manage life in general. So it's I think it's always just to give it a go and see, and then deal with whatever the consequences that are, rather than not try at all.
So it is a lot about messages, isn't it?
Mm.
What messages are we receiving from people who've got nothing to do with whatever's going on, like Blue Monday, for example? That's a message. We can pick it up. I was not aware of the marketing thing. I thought it's a day where everybody is just supposed to be miserable. But then again, it's not. You know, we have the 10,000 steps per day. That was also a marketing ploy from the 1970s with the Olympics in Tokyo, where a chap had invented the step count and wanted to promote it. So he picked out a number, it says 10,000, and it's been used ever since without much thinking as to whether is this right or not. So we send and we receive messages about how we feel and how we think other people should feel every day. So we have to be careful about the messages we send ourselves. And, well, what messages do you guys out there want to send us?
It's interesting as well, isn't it? It's about belief too. When someone sends that message, this sort of quasi automatically believing that it's true, rather than, oh, really? I don't, like you said right at the beginning, I don't feel miserable at the moment. I'm supposed to have Blue Monday. Well, I don't feel blue, nor do I. But again, it's this challenge of these messages that we are being sent. So rather than taking them on face value, that they are fact, you know, are they fact, or are they, what are these messages? And it's then quite often it's up to us as how we deal with those messages ourselves.
So what messages have we been sending you? What
Yes.
have you chosen to believe from what we've said? And what should we have said instead? Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure again, as always, talking to you.
Yeah.
And let's meet in a video in the future. Take care. Bye
See you later. Bye-bye.